This story is coming out of The Real Deal. I'll read the headline. I'll read the first couple graphs, and then I want you to comment. Headline: Dolce Gabbana to brand Michael Stern's condo tower in Miami. Subhead: Italian fashion house also plans projects in Spain and the Maldives. Here's the first couple graphs from Mr. Fakler, and then if you can comment. Dolce & Gabbana is partnering with developer Michael Stern to brand a new condo tower in Miami. The Italian designer is the latest fashion house to work with a developer on branded condos in South Florida as it expands into real estate worldwide. Dolce & Gabbana announced this week it planned 2 residential developments, including one in Miami with Stern's JDS Development Group and one in Marbella, Spain, with Sierra Blanca Estates. It also plans a hotel in the Maldives. Mr. Fakler, what do you make of the fact that you need to bring in a high-end brand, fashion brand, in order to sell a condo at a premium price? Is this just part of the evolution of condo sales in South Florida, or does it suggest that maybe so many of these condos are virtually the same? The only way you can differentiate it was to get some sort of branding on it.
Yeah, I think the branding angle is really interesting here. This is a trend that's been going on for a while in Miami. This week we've got Desert partnering up or related for Rosewood Residences, which is sort of named after the resort, the Rosewood Resort up in Hillsborough Beach. But, you've already had Porsche Design, Armani Casa, Aston Martin, Missoni, Ritz-Carlton. They've all got towers in Miami-Dade. So, this is an ongoing thing. Let's be honest. Internationally, Miami is viewed as the sexy city. Even Putin had something to say about his oligarchs, hanging around Miami and buying their yachts and flitting around. So, if Putin puts his stamp on it, everybody knows about it. But
Vladimir Putin, the Russian president.
Unfortunately, yes. But yeah, so I think this is something that, we're going to see. I think a lot of these partnerships, though, at times have broken up. I think initially JDS had a deal with Major Food, but they split for some reason. The partnership, which was allegedly was a partnership without a signed deal, but now Major Food is partnering with somebody else. I think they're looking in Edgewater now for a planned tower. So you got to be careful that sometimes these partnerships that look really good on paper with name-wise, brand names, sexy names, sometimes they fall through, as in this situation I just mentioned.
And I would just point out to the audience, keep in mind, if you buy into one of these condos that is branded, make sure you take a look at the condo declaration, because what you'll probably find is that there's a licensing agreement that requires you as an owner within this building to pay licensing fees to that particular brand. And once those fees or once the contract's entered into, you pretty much can't shake it unless you go to bankruptcy court, which was the precedent we experienced down here about 10 years ago or so, when a project called the Canyon Ranch, Miami Beach, ultimately ended up in bankruptcy. And the person who bought, or the group that bought the assets out of bankruptcy court, they asked the bankruptcy judge to go ahead and terminate the licensing agreement. So as a result, anybody who paid a premium to be in the former Canyon Ranch saw overnight that the branding was pulled, and now they just had a building called the Carillon, but yet their purchase price didn't justify or didn't substantiate buying in the Carillon, but they did the Canyon Ranch. So that's something to keep in mind.